All right, under views, layouts, main.ejs, we also want to add the search, and the search is going to be here above everything else. So what I'm going to do, copy this, paste in here, and change header to search like so. And now we need to create this as well. So I'm going to go to partials and create a new file called search.ejs. All right, let's quickly build the search. So this is going to be a fairly simple one. I'm going to create a div with the class of search bar. Then inside here, we're going to have the container, so everything is centered. So, and inside the container, I'm going to have a form. This form is going to have an action of /search like so. We are also going to have a class name for it, which is going to be search __ form. Then we're going to have the row set to search. Method is going to be post. And then we're going to do the input inside here for the search bar. And it's going to be one of them without a button. So I'm going to do input, the type of search, area label equals search. ID is going to be search input. The name is going to be search term. And then the placeholder is going to be search the site. Cool. Let's close this, and that's it. That's going to be our search bar. Right, super quickly, let's style our search bar as well. So we're going to have the class name of search bar. Visibility is going to be set to hidden. Transform is going to set to translate Y. And this is going to be -100 pixels, so we can animate it. And then I'm going to set the background color to be the variable of the black color. Give it a little bit of padding to the top and bottom, and then left and right can be 0. Position can be absolute, and then I'm going to put left to 0, and then right to be 0 as well. And when we click the search button, we want to add a class to it, so this opens. So for this, we're going to be using search bar.open. Then we can reset the transform of translate Y to 0, and then transition to be transform 0.0s second. And for the input, we can change that as well to search bar and then input. And I just want to reset the margin and the padding. We can also add a close button, and I'm just going to call this one search close. And then inside here, we can position this as absolute, and then top can be 0, right can be 0, color can be set to var gray-light, and then padding can be set to 15 pixels like so. And we also need a close button, which I'm going to put outside the form here. And I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to create a div with the class name of search close. In fact, let's put it as an ID. And then this is just going to say close. That's it. All right. If we remove the visibility hidden and the transform, hopefully we'll see the search bar. Here it is. It doesn't look the way I want it to look, but it's not too bad. I think that would do the job. Alright, we're pretty much done with the styles. The only thing that I wanted to add is a few improvements for the admin dashboard. So I'm going to copy and paste a few styles and explain them super quickly. All this is basically making the admin pages look a little bit better. So I'm fixing the list, which we're gonna list some of the posts on the admin pages, and I'm just fixing the list in here. I'm gonna make the button, the edit and delete button, a little bit smaller. The forms are gonna be displayed as inline block, all of them. And for the admin post, I'm removing padding and margin. And then for the title, the admin title, I want to make sure that I can add a link on the right side of the title, and that's why I'm displaying it as flex and space between. that's pretty much it. The rest of the styles will just follow the global styles that we've written earlier. Save this, close it, minimize everything, and now it's a good time to have a look at our database. Go to mongodb.com, and if you haven't yet got an account, you can register one by clicking on the try free. You can either sign up with email by filling this form here, or you can choose sign up with Google. I've already got an account, so I'm going to click sign in. Alright, this will take me to the dashboard, which looks like this. If this is your first time signing up, yours might look a little bit different if you don't have any databases created yet, but essentially all we need to do is create a new project and a new database. For me, this is going to be here under the drop-down menu and then new project. I'm going to call my project Node.js-blog and then click next. The owner can stay the same. I'm going to click create project. And inside here, we just need to click on build a database. For this project, I will go with the M0, which is free. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you can choose your provider and then your region. For me, I'm going to choose the nearest one from Europe. So this could be Paris, for example. And then you can choose a cluster name. I'm going to leave it as default to cluster 0 and click create. Now we need to create a username and password so we can access the database. If you scroll down a little bit, the username that I'm going to have will be Ruddy, and you can auto generate a password from here and copy it. Make sure that you copy the password so you don't lose it. And in fact, let's copy it and let's go to the project and paste the password inside the env for now, and we'll come back to it later. So if you click create user, then we can click my local environment, and we need to add our current IP address so we can access the database. Now, if you're publishing your project on a server, you might need to come back and add the server IP address from here as well. So I'm going to click add my current IP, and this adds my current IP address. And now I can click finish and close. Click on go to databases. All right, it should take a second, and now we can use our database. The next thing that we need to do is to grab our connection string, and we can do this by clicking connect, choose VS Code, and here you will find your MongoDB deployment connection string. So if you copy this, and if we go back to the .env file that we created earlier, we can create our first environment variable, and I'm going to call mine MongoDB URI. And this is going to be equals the string that we copied. And as you can see inside here, we have the username, which I set mine to Ruddy. And inside here, we have the password. We need to replace the password to the one that we just created. And let's paste it inside here like so. And that's it. For the database name, we can change it from here. Let's put it as blog or whatever you wish and save it. Now let's have a look at how we can connect to MongoDB in our project. On the server, let's create a new folder called config. And inside this folder, we can create a new file called database.db for short, and then .js. Inside this file is where we're going to do the MongoDB connection. First of all, we need to require mongoose. Const mongoose equals require, and then we require mongoose like so. Now you can actually grab this code from the official documentation, but I'm gonna walk you through it super quickly. So const connect db, and then this is going to be equals an asynchronous function like so. And inside here we can do a try catch statement. Inside the try, we need to set a few settings first of all. So mongoose not set, otherwise you're going to get a few errors that you don't want. So strict query is the one that we want to switch off, and then this is going to be false. And now we can use Mongo connect to connect to a database. So const con as connection, and then await, because this is an asynchronous function, mongoose dot connect, and then inside here we can put the string that we want to connect to, which in this case is under env. So essentially we want to get this string inside here. To do this, we can use .env. So process .env, and then the name of this is going to be MongoDB underscore URI. So we copy this and paste in here. The last thing that we want to do is console log, and inside here in template literals, we can say database connected. And then with $, curly brackets, we can do con, which is the connection here. And then we can do connection dot host, close this. And then for the error, we can just do console dot log. And then we can console log the error from here, like so. And the last thing that we need to do in here, which is very important, we need to export this function, otherwise we won't be able to use it. So module dot export equals connect.db, like so, and we're done. Now that we have this database connection file, we need to go to the app.js and include it. We can do this under the express layout. So for example, we can do const connect.db equals require, and then we require the file, which is located under server, and then config, and then database, like so. And now we can actually run this function from our main app.js file. So somewhere around here, we can just do connect to database, and we can do connect.db and run the function. Technically speaking, if we save this, Nodemon will restart the server, and now if we go to the command line, you should be able to see app.listening on port 5000 and database connected to the database string that we have. Now, if you messed up something like the username or the password, the console will let you know. So for example, if I go back to the .env, and let's say I messed up my username, so I'm going to put radi1, and then if I go back to the command line, you'll see that nothing changes, and this is because .env doesn't actually restart the server. So I need to make a change in here. Let's make a space, save it, and now you will see that we're getting an error, and the error is Mongo server error bad auth, so authentication failed. It means that your username or password is wrong. And now let's go back and just change it to the correct one, which is Radi. Save it, save this, and we should be good to go. Here we go, database connected, which means that we can now use our database. All right, now that we can connect to the database, let's create our first database, in this case called model. So this is going to be the model for the blog post. And in the server folder, we can create another folder called models. And inside this folder, we're going to create our first model, which is going to be called post.js. Let's close everything else. And the first thing that we need to do in order to create this model is to include mongoose. So const mongoose equals, and then we do require mongoose, like so. And now we can create our schema, and our schema is essentially the database field. So let's do const schema equals mongoose.schema, and now we can do const post schema equals new, and then schema, and then inside here we can create our schema for our post. So for example, each post is going to have a title, and then the title is going to be a type of string. And this field can be also set as required, so we can do required, set to true, and we should be good to go with the title. We can also put the body. This is where the blog post is going to go, the content, so body, and then this is going to be the type of string one more time, so type string, and again we can make this required, true, and save. And I'm going to add 2 more fields in here with comma, so I'm going to add created at, and this one is going to be automatically generated when we create a post. So I'm going to put a type of date, and I'm going to put a default value to be the current date .now, and now I'm going to copy this and create one more, so comma, And this is going to be, instead of created at, this is going to be updated at. Here it is, type of date, default date now. And the last thing that we need to do is close this, and we need to export this model. So here at the bottom, we can do module.export equals mongoose.model. And then inside here, we can give it the name of post, and then we export the post schema, like so.